Let's do it. Let me do it. No time like the right time. What if you had to get up and do this every day? Take a protein down to the enzyme, turn it into a starch so that you can send it to the pancreas so that it can turn it into sugar. Look at that, taking a long trip down the chromosomes to the dendrites, axons, into the synaptic firing of the neurons. What if you had to do that every day? You just have to get up and goofily put one foot in front of the other. These guys are like a machine. Look at that. That's going on inside you hundreds of million times a day. Do you have to do any of that? If you had to do that, it wouldn't work. You barely can get one foot in front of the other without some coffee in the morning. Look at this guy. He's got a job to do. He's doing it. Not taking a break. He's getting a massage while he's doing it. Look at that. You've got a ribosome getting a massage from a eukaryotic cell. They be looking out for each other, you know what I'm saying? We can't even, we have to race everybody at a red light and can't let people over in traffic. Look at that. Hundreds of million times a second going on inside your body right now. Do you have to do that? All you do is have to stuff your mouth and get up and put one foot in front of the other and hope there's some ground there to catch you when you're falling. Look at that. All day long, like clockwork. And you've got the police that show up, take out crime that's going down, doctors that fight diseases, all inside your body. Look at that. That's an RNA strip making transcription, tearing it apart, turning it into RNA, where it makes a copy. But when it doesn't have the exact copy to make a copy, it just throws in a eukaryotic cell or, whatever the A, T's, G's, and C's. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Gang. Thank God I don't have to do that. Whew. Boy, my copies would be messed up. Look at that dude getting a massage. Isn't that nice? He gets a massage while he's on his way to work in the morning, carrying a ribosome over to a chromosome so that the neuropeptide can get where it needs to get to. What a machine. All right, you guys, next clip.
Hold up. Watch this video.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Nobody talking about this. Holy smokes.
When you watch cell division happen under a microscope with special dyes, you see there's spindle fibers that shoot out like Spider-Man. I mean, they shoot out from these little bitty centrosomes. They shoot out.
Centrosomes.
Chromosomes.
Ribosomes.
Are like socks. They come in pairs. So there's like a matching pair, and there's all these different matching pairs. And so they line up in the center of your cell, and you can see these spindle fibers grouping. It looks like there's two white glowing hands just grouping up, like shuffling a deck of cards or matching up socks or whatever you want to look at it like. And then when everything's matched up, it just goes, pulls it apart. And it's like, ow.
Magic.
What force is it using?
That's right. The force of God.
Things have that
the unseen, unborn one. That no man has seen.
All right, go that way, head left, head right. They shoot out and they guide with accurate precision. Boom.
Not a mistake in the crowd.
Each skin cell has the same amount of chromosomes. It's perfect, and it's so intelligently designed.
That's right. That's right. Yes, you are. And when God made you, he said, it is good.
So your phone is spying on your cells.
Listen to this.
You think it's just for texting and scrolling and
no.
pictures? That thing is watching way more than you realize.
Pay attention.
I have actual government papers proving it. So
your phone is.
So inside your phone, there are these microscopic machines called MEMS. Think of them as tiny computers that are smaller than a grain of sand. They track every move you make. When you walk, when you tilt your phone, when you pick it up. And the government's own National Institute of Standards and Technology
the government
admits these are real and they're in your device right now. Now here is where it gets really creepy. So your phone has something else called a UWB radar. A radar is what airplanes use to find stuff. But UWB is very special because it can shoot signals that go right through walls. So like X-ray vision, but for radio waves. This radar can detect you standing in another room. It can sense your heartbeat from across the house. It knows exactly how you move, how you walk. It can literally identify you just by how you move through a room. So there is technology that scientists built to measure the tiniest things imaginable. We're talking so sensitive that it can detect something as small as a single protein landing on it. A protein is one of the tiniest building blocks in your body. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but these machines can. Now, they shrunk that technology down, small enough to go in phones and medical devices. So they're not just tracking your steps anymore, they're tracking what's happening inside you. This is really happening. So there's also this thing called CRISPR. It was talked about a lot
About
10 years ago.
she's from Canada.
Think of it as a microscopic scissor that
Saskatchewan, I
can
think.
edit your DNA. So your DNA is the instruction manual for your entire body. The National Institutes of Health explains that scientists can program these scissors. They tell them exactly where to cut and what to change. And here's the important part. It works inside living cells while you're alive, while you're sleeping, while you're listening to this. They're even making data records inside cells that capture what your body is doing and store it like a tiny computer. So here's what we have. Your phone tracks your movements. Your phone can see through walls and feel your heartbeat. There are sensors sensitive enough to detect proteins inside of you that are in your phone right now. And scientists have tools to edit your DNA while you're alive. International groups like the ISO make rules for all of this stuff called biodigital convergence, which is just a fancy way of saying mixing biology with computers. And they've been planning this for over 20 years. So, this is not a theory. This is not maybe someday. This is right now. All the documents are there. They're in one place under personal explorations on my website, under biofield. So next time someone tells you this stuff is fake, don't argue with them. Just send them my research paper. It has every government document attached, every patent, every source. I did the homework, so you don't have to. Enjoy.
I tell them the phone sent me.
I'm going to try and explain now. And so a tech researcher,
Fine.
Sabrina, I'm going to try and explain the biofield war going on in less than 2 minutes. So there is a war happening right now, and but with frequencies. And the battlefield is your body. So a tech researcher, Sabrina Wallace, has been testifying about this for years, and she calls it intentional interference. And here's what I found. So in 2014, a major engineering organization published research on something called the Wireless Body Area Network. It's BAN, okay? Fancy term. Simple meaning, networks designed to read information from your body and send it somewhere. The question is, where are they sending it and who's the intended consumer? So her research shows that at least since the 1990s, technology has existed to use your body's own energy field, your biofield, as a part of the network. So your nervous system runs on electricity, your heart creates a measurable field, and you are broadcasting whether you know it or not. So the Department of Defense has spent decades studying how specific frequencies, especially in the millimeter wave range, interact with human skin, the nervous system. And this research is real, funded, and classified. And now that infrastructure is being built in every friggin' city. There are 7 layers. 777. Oh my God, 7. The number 7 will be the death of me. But there are 7 layers of the electromagnetic spectrum. Ancient wisdom said, as above, so below. And now that shit's inverted. And the network above reads and influences energy below. So what do? In simple terms, you keep your phone away from your body, you turn off your Wi-Fi at night, you spend time in nature, you ground yourself, you pay attention to how you feel in different environments because your body knows and your body keeps the score for everything. But I've dug through all her papers. The research is very much real. So more's coming. If you want the deep dive on what I'm actually talking about, there are resources on my website. under personal explorations and then categorized in the biofield. The biofield war is happening. Now you know what to do about it. You should do some further investigation as well. I found a lot of her stuff on Rumble, but it's hard to find. So now you know.
Now you know that's the kind of conspiracy you need to be getting down with. Do the research, dig in.
Princess Beatrice attended the Met Gala. People noticed something really strange about her. Look at her eyes. They feel like there's nothing behind them, like it's a robot. And also, she didn't even blink properly for over 40 seconds, even with cameras flashing in her face the entire time. Some say she was just trying to look composed. Others are convinced it's proof the royals are not entirely human. When Princess
She's wild. They're all wild, and they're lizards for entertainment purposes only.
He would make statements like, we got to ban cloning or whatever. But like, I don't think that ever happened.
Our administration believes that there are loopholes that could allow the cloning of human beings if the technology were developed. Therefore, today I am issuing a directive that bans the use of any federal funds for any cloning of human beings.
Tonight, I ask you to pass legislation to prohibit the most egregious abuses of medical research, human cloning in all its forms, creating or implanting embryos for experiments, creating human-animal hybrids, and buying, selling, or patenting human embryos.
I don't think it ever happened. And from all my research, it never happened. So that's like one of the biggest revelations to me from this series. And what I learned is like, I just assumed and took for granted that cloning humans was illegal. I thought it wasn't allowed. I thought it wasn't allowed anywhere. Come to find out, it's allowed a lot of places. And it was allowed a lot of places until fairly recently.
A lot of places.
So, these people right here, they over there in Canada. And this was all going on in the early 2000s.
Adam and Eve, it's the first human being created through human planning.
His name is Rael, and he heads a wealthy, well-organized religious sect whose faith is science, and whose ambition is to use existing technology to clone a human being.
So on December 26th, the day after Christmas, 2002, a company named Clonaid, led by a French ex-journalist who ran a religious group, which probably, is appropriate to call it a religious cult, named the Raelians. Okay, the Raelians. Got it. Now, they claim to have cloned a baby girl named Eve. So weird they named her Eve, too, because Adam and Eve.
You know.
The first clone is named Eve. Anyway, Eve allegedly was born in an undisclosed country where cloning is not illegal. Well, could have been this one.
International waters.
Clonaid held a press conference in Hollywood, Florida. Oh, God, how many roads lead to Hollywood, Florida? That's where
All
Star
of them.
Search and Mickey Mouse Club was. LeChoo. Anyway, they held this press conference to announce the birth, but they did not bring up the baby clone.
I'm very, very pleased to announce that the first baby clone is born. She was born yesterday at 11:55 a.m. in the country where she was born. So this will not give you more details about the location. She's fine. We call her Eve between us. You knew that, of course. Some
You know.
I thought it was a good idea, actually. You won't have the right name. And, for a long time, I thought that this press conference will be with the baby, the parents, the scientists, everybody surrounding me, and having pleasure announcing it.
Yeah, where are they?
And there is a reason to that.
What is it?
It hasn't been easy to face the world with this announcement. And we have been discussing with the parents the last 3 months how we would handle today. And they decided not to show up yet. They will. I hope they will. And I wish them well. We started really to work with human eggs in January of this year. So it took us 3 months to finalize, and this is very short, and that's why I said, is it luck or is it hard work? I do believe it's hard work, but we had really good success very quickly and refined the technique for human eggs until spring, where we started to have implantation. We had 10 implantations, and 5 of them during the first 3 weeks were terminated spontaneously.
So they're out here saying that they have a cloned baby and it was born. Now, if you reverse engineer the timeline, we do timelines on this channel, this human clone baby Eve could have very, very well been one of those 3 clone pregnancies from the previous video where those scientists were like, we have 3 successful clone implementations or whatever, May 9th, 2002. This fertility specialist from Italy says, yes, he did it 3 times, 3 people. He shocked observers a month ago when he reportedly said on the sidelines of a conference in the UAE that an Arab patient of his was 8 weeks pregnant with the world's first cloned human. And then those that nobody ever heard from them cloned babies. So maybe they didn't survive the pregnancies, or maybe they did. And if they did, then what? So we'll have this clip right here. And this clip is kind of what led me to believe that might be what's going on, because this lady is like, we're working with some specialists, with some experts, but not linked with them financially, but we're just working with them.
So now we have 3 scientists working almost full time in a lab here in the United States with the major goal for us to produce a human embryo by human cloning.
And it's like, okay, so for research purposes, did one of your cult members carry the baby?
Among the volunteer surrogate mothers for human clones are these young devotees of the Raelian sect.
I always wanted a baby, but the problem of overpopulation and it's a dedication for 20 years, which is too long because I want to do so much for others. If I dedicate myself to one kid, I won't be able to help all the one that needs help right now.
You can have other kids too.
Clips here of how weird this cult is and how willing they are to do it.
It's crazy what they're doing out there.
CIA's fake animals. In the 1970s, the CIA developed what they called the Insectothopter, which was a drone the size of a dragonfly and hand-painted to look like one. It was kept secret until December 2003, when it was revealed to the public at the CIA Museum, and the project was abandoned because it was too difficult to fly in crosswinds. Another similar project was the AeroVironment Nano Hummingbird, created with specifications given by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. These weren't the only times they used animals or crafted fake animals to spy on their enemies. During the Cold War, they developed a camera so light that it could be carried by pigeons in order to take aerial photos, and they even trained some of these pigeons to drop eavesdropping devices onto window ledges. However, despite successfully placing some of these devices, no usable audio was captured from them. They even used fake fish to secretly check water samples for the presence of nuclear runoff or other suspicious substances.
Bayal, you know we're saying they're always doing something.
Now, this video was posted 3 years ago. Now, I'm not going to say what I really want to say because TikTok will take me down for integrity and authenticity. But all I'm going to say is it's not a coincidence.
I'm going to try and explain now. So a tech researcher, Sabrina, I'm going to try and explain the biofield war going on in less than 2 minutes. So there is a war happening right now, and but with frequencies, and the battlefield is your body. So a tech researcher, Sabrina Wallace, has been testifying about this for years, and she calls it intentional interference. And here's what I found. So in 2014, a major engineering organization published research on something called the Wireless Body Area Network. It's BAN, okay? Fancy term. Simple meaning, networks designed to read information from your body and send it somewhere. The question is, where are they sending it, and who's the intended consumer? So her research shows that at least since the 1990s, technology has existed to use your body's own energy field, your biofield, as a part of the network.
Don't worry, they block out the license plate so you and nobody else can see it after they just took a picture already.
Conspiracy theories. What if stars are cameras from aliens and we are a zoo or an
I love you. I agree.
What if oxygen is actually poisonous and takes us 70 to 100 years to affect us? What if there are really aliens disguised as humans and they are spying on us, plotting the perfect time to strike? What if every time you hear that voice in your head telling you not to do something, it's your future self warning you because they already know the outcome? What if you're the only person on Earth and the rest of the population you see is just your imagination playing tricks on you?
That's the truth.
What if our life is a video game and every time you start a new year, you start a new level? As the game progresses, the level gets harder and harder to manage. Those who die have completed their game. What if we were all bad people in our past life and this is a form of hell? That's why doing the wrong thing is so easy. It's in our nature. Your first 5 non-face emojis are your new aesthetic. Comment what they are.
You know she's being for real with it when you get down with how sin works.
Trippy.
Symbolism, it's symbolism will be their downfall. Or is it just art? And let me be the first to tell you, it's all connected. I mean, if you know, you know. But first, let's go back to that video of
Basquiat.
When the camera turns, you can see the inside of her house. Now, see that picture right there? Well, if you pause it and look it up, it says evil thoughts with revenge right next to it. Here's another picture of Ellen in her house, and this is the picture behind her. Now, the thing I'm curious about is the letters on top of the picture. These look oddly similar to the letters Marina Abramovich writes out when she does spirit cooking. Remember the beginning of the video? It's all connected. And that person that was in all red is Lady Gaga, and she went to Marina Abramovich many times for teaching. But let's continue. This is another picture of Ellen in her home. She's cutting her mother's hair, but what is that picture above her head?
Basquiat, Balenciaga and stuff.
Symbolism.
Does anyone ever actually listen to the lyrics of the song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Californication, which was, keep in mind, written almost 25 years ago?
Psychic spies from China try to steal your mind's elation. A little girl from Sweden dream of silver screen quotation. It's the edge of the world in all of Western civilization. The sun may rise in the east, at least it's settled in a final location. Hey, outside and very well to break the spell of aging. Celebrity skin, is this your kin or is that warrior?
New aging. This may be the final frontier, but it's made in the Hollywood basement. And Kobe, can you see the spirit singing songs on station to station? Not far away is Californication. And there's just those who praise control the population. Everybody's been there, and I don't mean no vacation. Holy moly, that's the one, that's today's show. Next time, tune in when I do more conspiracies for crazy people like myself, for entertainment purposes only, of course.